What is up, my dudes? This is Trent here with the Fantasy Football Dudes. We got a special draft here. We got a special guest. As usual, your dudes are buzzing. I am joined by Phil, Jordan. Producer Seth is at a bunko party with his in-laws. Not sure what that's about, but we have Daniel here. Daniel has a... Would you consider yourself a lifelong friend of Phil, or would you don't even want to say a friend at all, Daniel?
We're friends. We're friends.
Okay.
Well,
Lifelong friends, that works.
Yeah, lifelong friends for sure. What I was going to say is like most people that come onto this pod, and specifically the two other co-hosts, like those are like pretty good acquaintances, for the most part. Like I know them, checkered relationships periodically. You're a guy that I've always kept in touch with regardless, and we've just always been good friends, I would say, for the most part. Like we've always like hung out when we were younger, we played sports together, and then in high school we became, I would say, probably better friends. When you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then we've kept in touch. We wrote each other letters. We were pen pals for a short period of time.
We wrote actual letters and dropped them in the mail. So
How much were
do you have a
back
friend
then?
that you've done that with? Probably not.
There's
probably friends that have never done that.
There are friends that have never done that. And you and I would say, and the thing is too, I would say that there was a good deal of correspondence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good deal correspondence. Like Trent, how many guys, how many good buddies, not shipped merch to, but like actually wrote out what you did in your past week and like checked in on it? How many letters have you written like that?
Thankfully, zero. So do you guys refer to each other as like pen pals? Like you say like pen pal Phil, pen pal Daniel? Like we got a draft we got to get into here a little bit.
No, I'm just simply saying like when you put ink to paper, I think that's when it's like one step closer in your blood brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Bond.
Yes, it's a special bond. Yeah.
Some might say it's closer than blood brothers.
Potentially, yeah, for sure.
But anyways, Daniel, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. We're going to have a 90s family-friendly movie draft. And so thought we'd bring a guest on for this one, not having Seth here because he's at that bunko party.
And we're all 90s kids.
What's the opposite of family-friendly? Like, what do you say family-friendly? Like,
I would say it can't be over PG. Is that a fair...
No, I would say PG-13. Like, what PG-13 is...
So you'd let your kids right now watch a PG-13 movie, Phil?
I think the rating is... As it is what it is, like PG-13. I'm not letting a child watch a PG-13 movie. You know what I'm saying? So I think none of us were children, teenagers in the 90s for what it's worth. But there's some PG-13, like I think Flubber as an example. I think that's PG-13.
I don't think it is. I could look it up.
I feel like that came out in the 90s. And let's see, Flubber movie.
What is Flubber?
You don't know what Flubber is, Jordan?
Man.
It's PG.
It is
came out in
PG.
1997.
Okay. So, I'm okay with doing PG movies, I guess. Yeah, let's do PG movies,
Keep
I
it
guess.
PG.
For that.
They don't have to be cartoon. We're not going to go cartoon.
We don't have
animated,
to do cartoon.
But just 90s movies here. So, Daniel, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I will say, like, the age gap between, like, me and you is, like, only, like, 4 or 5 years. But when you're
He's calling you old.
But when you're like 5 and 9 in the 90s, it's kind of actually a big difference when you think about that.
It is.
Yeah.
So
I mean, between your height and 5'9" is a pretty big difference too. What I was going to say,
yours is a bigger difference though.
What I was going to say though is, I think. That was such a stupid joke.
Well, it's like you're shorter than me.
Well, here's the
says who, I guess.
We should one pod have Jordan and Phil stand back to back and just silence all the doubters once and for all.
No, what we should do is arm wrestle, and then if I win, I can always say that I'm taller than Jordan because I think most people lean that way.
Sure.
I think I have like the charisma of at least a 5'9" person. Maybe 5'10".
Daniel, I appreciate you for all the time that you've listened to us and everything. I know you have a commute every once in a while. You got to listen to us. But yeah, so Jordan, you were born in 96, right?
94.
94, sorry. I was born in 92. Daniel, 91?
91.
Phil, 88?
90. 90. I was born in 90.
Okay.
Made the cutoff.
So we're just going to recap last week's draft real quick. And hey, guys, a problem I have here is I don't recap the drafts at the end. On YouTube, there's a nice graphic.
Sure.
But on the podcast, you got to rewind to hear what it was. So we got to recap it.
Okay.
But last week's draft, our winner was Team C with 36% of the votes. And that was the Fridge, Primetime, Magic Johnson, and the Bus. You guys, Team D, which was Jordan, came in last at 19% with the Black Mamba, the Rock, Megatron, and White Chocolate. Team A and Team B tied with 22% with Babe Ruth, At Team A, Air Jordan, the Notorious in Beast Mode. Phil had Tiger, Big Poppy, the Great One in Big Unit. So there's some stuff we missed there. But
There's certainly some stuff we missed. I mean, since we're a fantasy football pod, we talk about football periodically. We should probably just ask Daniel, like, who's his favorite football team?
I hate to say it, but I'm not overly committed to anybody these days.
That's fine.
Normally, I would have probably said I was a Green Bay Packers fan.
Yeah.
Is that who you
Watching
grew up?
Brett Favre
You grew up
play
a Packer
would have
fan?
been
Yeah.
a favorite. That's what I would have said. Nowadays, I don't feel.
You're just looking
as
for a good
strong.
game.
I like to watch the game.
All right.
and
competition,
food.
good food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
If
Good
you
food.
didn't have good food, we'd have a real problem. But, anyways, actually, Daniel, for coming on, are you a Manscaped guy, Daniel? Are we allowed to say that? We just got a new sponsorship with them. For coming on, hey, you don't answer that, okay, Daniel? Actually. But for coming on the show today, we're going to give you a 20% off coupon to manscaped.com. Promo code DUDES20. Thanks for coming on. And then we got the, what is that?
This is the trimmer.
Yeah,
The weed whacker.
The weed
The weed
whacker.
whacker,
So stick
excuse
that
me.
thing up your nose or in your ears, and that'll take everything out. Yeah, Phil, go ahead and show that
got
off.
the weed whacker here.
Yeah, the camera's, it's
There we
off to
go.
your left.
And I will say I utilize this. I spotted we talked about a little bit earlier, like I'm a little bit shorter, right? So there's not a lot of people that are seeing, like under my nostrils, but just, I was brushing my teeth a little bit, saw some hair, and took care of that really quickly. This thing is going to keep you high and tight for really any, whether that be a, communicating with, a significant other, aka a SIG, having a conversation with a friend at church. There's a variety of different things. This thing is going to keep you up to, I would say up to snuff in a really good way. I mean, I think this one might be actually one of my favorites. I think having nose hair is underrated in terms of how disgusting it is. Can we all agree to that? Like, it's worse than having like a piece of pizza crumb on the corner of your mouth. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you're talking with someone with nose hairs, can you focus on anything else? Can you focus on the conversation? Really think deeply about that. Daniel, what would you say?
Part of my daily routine in getting ready, I'm checking to make sure there's no rogue nose hairs that need to be addressed.
Yeah.
So the weed whacker.
So yes.
Yeah.
It'd come in handy. I don't own one, but
You could probably
I'm
do it while
interested
you could do it while you're driving.
I'm gonna have to get that 20% discount.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah. So yeah, you now have the right tools for safe and precise grooming in hand to navigate sensitive areas, plus post trimming products to keep your dudes dry all day long. So let's start this dude draft off. We got the family. We're doing a family movie pod talking about Manscaped, but that's just that's the economy we're in, guys. And they also got they got cleansers, crop mop, foot duster, cologne, and then the plow, which is a straight razor.
Straight
blade.
edge razor. Yeah,
which I prefer. Get a little closer. But anyways, here we go. We got a family friendly movie draft.
So how are we doing? I feel like because Daniel's a guest, maybe go him, then Jordan, then me, you.
Well,
or-
I was thinking Jordan got last.
Oh, so just come this way.
Yeah, so go all the way around there. So Daniel, we'll let you kick this thing off. You have the first draft, and we're not snaking it, okay? So we're gonna do linear, so it's go all the way to Jordan, then it's to go back to you, okay? So just to keep going around, okay?
And then the one thing that I will say, Daniel, is, and I know we've talked about this a little bit before, but there are people on social media. I don't know if you hop on Twitter periodically. If you go a bad movie, take 1.1 basically is what they say. People will ride you on Twitter. Just like Jordan has had some pretty bad ones where I think he's gotten it really bad, and then he's changed up his strategy. I've also gotten it really bad for my top golf take. So I'm just laying it out there before you choose. I still feel confident in you, just for what it's worth.
I'll continue to stay off Twitter probably. So it's fine. My feelings won't be hurt.
All right. Well, Daniel, you got 101. This is this could make you or break you, but what are you going to take here?
So first pick, it was the first thing that came to mind for me, so I got to choose it. Sandlot is a favorite.
Sandlot.
That's a
Yeah.
good one.
That's what I was gonna go with that.
Watch it as a kid, watch it as an adult. It hits different as an adult. It's still good. I think it's aged well.
Yeah.
I think if you've somehow never seen it, you need to watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing anybody listening to this podcast hopefully has seen the movie.
Well, Seth,
Yes.
or Phil, how many times have you been told you play ball like a girl?
So first off, don't ever call me Seth. Second, I have never been told that, and it's mostly just because I throw right-handed and bat left-handed, and that's a little bit different, I think. And so I'm different enough. I think people like, they don't insult me just because they're like, man, this guy, and I wouldn't even say at these days, like, have you seen those softball pitchers?
Yeah.
Like they throw heat. Like, professional baseball players would struggle to hit those because it's a weird angle. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of a weird angle. So, I don't know. I haven't been told that, but I think that I get other insults more, I would say, probably.
Well, you're killing me, Smalls. But,
And I feel like, Daniel, that kind of resonates with you. Again, we've known each other for a little while. Like, you kind of had a group of people that you didn't necessarily play baseball, but you guys just skateboarded, like, every single day. Like, this was kind of your gig, but skateboarding over baseball, right?
Yeah. I mean, baseball is probably one of my favorite sports growing up.
Yeah.
Played on the same team more than once, I'm sure. So,
Sure.
I'm sure that had a big part of it. But yeah, just having a group of friends that you're out doing everything with and being out, especially and taking place kind of mainly in the summertime, just
if
small community feel.
What character do you think resonates most with? Like, if you were in Sandlot and you can't choose Benny, who do you think, can I tell you who? I think you're a little bit more like, not because of him, but like you're a little bit bold. Like I would throw you in the squints category.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. You're a bold guy.
You kind of remind me of Ham, Phil.
All right. So Daniel took Sandlot.
Roast the Malo.
So wait, sorry, I didn't let you say, would squints, you think?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably.
Just because of how you swim or what?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Okay.
There's a little bit in each of them,
Yeah.
You threw Benny out. I mean,
Everyone wants to be Benny.
He was the cool guy of the group, So
I could see that a little. I just didn't want that one. That one's the easy one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, Trent.
All right, number 2 here. I am going to go with. Man, I really was hoping Sandlot would fall to me. I should have known it wouldn't fall to me. I'm going to go with right here. I'm deciding between 2. I'm going to go with Hook. Okay. Hook, the Peter Pan with Robin Williams. I think that's a really good one.
This is a horrible take.
Does no one like Hook?
This is a horrible take.
And we're not letting
gosh.
you change your pick. That's
I'm not
absolutely
gonna
terrible.
Rufio, all that stuff.
No.
Like, Hook is very underrated with Robin Williams.
I haven't seen it
my
because
gosh.
it's so bad. I've seen clips of it.
Peter Pan, he becomes a man. He goes to the real world. He goes back, has to save all those guys. No one here liked Hook.
Trent, you've been getting a lot of love on the Twitter machine for your drafts lately.
More people will
Finally,
like this than what you think. No,
No,
people like this.
No one likes Hook, Trent.
Everybody likes Hook. Do you not like Hook, Daniel? Be honest.
I honestly, I haven't watched it in a while, but it seems a little scary almost if you're a small
That
kid.
crocodile and everything?
Kinda had
Okay.
a little bit of a
Risque.
it was a little bit
Big Peter Pan guy I am.
okay.
Well, why didn't you just take the normal Peter Pan?
Because that wasn't in the 90s, Jordan. That was like the 1950s.
I didn't know that.
Man, you're killing me, Smalls. But
This can't continue the rest of the pod. Like,
all right, I'm going with Hook. What about the part where they're all pretending to eat? That one guy puts his legs over his head and he's a bowling ball. Then Rufio.
There's definitely some good
there's some
quotable
good stuff,
spots.
yeah.
It's snowing. Slams the door on his face. I mean,
Exactly.
definitely some parts I like.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, don't sleep on Hook, guys. But Phil, you're up here.
I think that's a
jerk.
Well,
You
Phil,
jerk.
you can take whatever movie you want now because you're not gonna. He's gonna get the hate.
yeah.
not you.
He is the low man right now, I would say.
People love Robin Williams.
The
okay?
problem
They
is
love
there's
him.
so many good movies that came out in the 90s. So many good movies. That
That's
you
true.
could have easily gotten that one like on the back end of round 3.
Undrafted.
Yeah,
waiver wire.
yes.
Yeah. Phil's going to take Mouse Hunt or something right now. So hurry up, Phil. You're on the clock.
No, I'm definitely not choosing Mouse Hunt.
Mouse Hunt's a good movie.
I'm not even familiar. So this is the thing that our listeners have probably heard probably far too much. I didn't have a TV until I was in 7th grade.
Yeah, so clearly you probably didn't see Hook.
So yeah, I didn't see Hook, and I'm just catching up with a lot of these movies into my adulthood. And so I probably in high school or junior high when we finally got a TV, I started watching some of these movies. And so one of the movies that I absolutely loved, and it was never a sport that I actually got to play, but I was always inspired after I watched this movie.
The Borrowers.
I don't even know what that is. The Mighty Ducks.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, that's a
And,
great
and,
one.
I
almost
think you
took
should
that one
take
too.
like I should take the trilogy, right? Or like I should get all of them, right? Or do you
Well,
can't.
no one can take. I mean, is there a preferable one you have?
No,
Like,
I would just say that series. Like I'm a Mighty Ducks guy. Like Bash
you
Bros,
just-
Knuckle
you-
Puck.
so I think you have to go with Mighty Ducks 2 then. You can't just say like
No, all Mighty. I like them all.
you
like,
can't just blanket a trilogy. You have to put one down on there.
So I just say like all of the one Amelia Estevez is in, or like what do I like?
that's like that's all of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like any movie that
You
Emilio
can't
Estevez is
You
in.
can't just put Mighty Ducks series on there. That's giving you two extra movies.
No, but it's like I don't know. Technically, does the movie end? Right? It's like a lifetime, right? Like I wouldn't,
This is so stupid. This is so dumb.
So-
You're taking 3 movies in the first round.
Well, I think that's really the only movie. If you take a look at it in the '90s, like there's a couple other movies, but most
You
of them.
could say Toy Story. You could say, the first 2.
Well, no, I
No,
don't-
that's
it's-
not-
Yes,
Toy Story's 90s.
Daniel
Yeah,
Lane
but
on this. What
your,
do you?
throwing
your
out-
analogy
come-
is
You can't, Jordan, you can't take 3 movies in the first round. or
Okay,
pick.
fine. The Mighty Ducks, the first one. I will take the
Okay,
Mighty
fine.
Ducks.
I'm fine with
Although I think that on Twitter you should say that I get the
no,
the whole thing.
no.
What are you waiting for? The ice to freeze? Let's go.
All right, Jordan, you're and you had way too long to choose, and I think you're going to fumble the ball here.
Yeah.
I might fumble the ball.
You're going to pull a Ty Huntley.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
because he
man.
thought Peter Pan was made in the 90s, so he's probably,
Yeah.
There goes half his movie picks.
Oh,
That's
hey,
what he
just hey,
watched it, so.
That's what I
was
watched.
new to
him. Yeah.
I watched it in the 90s.
Trent's going to be like their funding came in '89, so no, you can't.
I have no idea if this movie is like popular with other people or not.
Oh no!
no,
Hey,
no.
hold on. Choose another movie.
No, I think you guys.
Annie.
No. I'm gonna go The Little Rascals.
Oh, no, that's a good one.
that
that's
one's
that's
dumb.
on my list. That's on my
I
list.
didn't know. See, like Phil, but you didn't have a TV when you were 5, so
Yeah, that's
you
like a
probably didn't see it.
SpongeBob movie for me, though. Like I think I put Little Rascals and SpongeBob in the same type of humor.
Yeah,
and I know
when
you
you're
don't like SpongeBob.
when you're like 7 years old, like
No, there's some classic, she loves me not.
no,
Yeah.
that movie is.
What are some other quotes there? Daniel, I know you're just, thinking of something here. What is the most quotable thing in Little Rascals?
I think she loves me.
I
She
got
loves
2
me.
Yeah,
pickles. I got 2.
yeah,
You're
that's a
the
good one. Too.
scum between my toes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
yeah.
one too.
It was just I just recently rewatched that movie. It was
I haven't watched that in years.
you're lucky.
But it's one of those movies you
Reba's-
probably shouldn't watch after you're 7 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, Reba's in it, so they do race some cars. But,
Yeah.
All right, so first round we had Hook, we had Sandlot, Hook, Mighty Ducks, Little Rascals. Daniel, here you are. Second round, starting this thing off. We only got 3 rounds here, so
I'm going between 2 here. I was going to say something else, but I think that's...
We're gonna change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think I am going to go... I was already thinking it, and it was discussed somebody mentioned it earlier here, but I'm going to go with Home Alone.
Our makeup
Oh,
artist,
nice,
Home Alone.
nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
Home Alone. All right.
that's
We talked about it a little bit during Christmas time, but it's
Yeah.
all year round
I
movie.
rewatched it for Christmas,
Okay.
the last couple of years now, I think. So
Sure.
it's good. You watch
Yeah.
it as an adult, you see a bunch of stuff you didn't see before. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's PG, but there's some stuff like we were discussing. I wouldn't want my kids to watch it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no,
So-
that is a classic. Like it's just to be able to beat up some adults and stuff like that. And,
Absolutely.
it's like everybody wants like I could do this. Like the paint cans coming down the stairs, whacking
Yeah.
that guy in the face. Like maybe some of the worst robbers in the world. Those 2 guys.
Yeah. You want to know something I learned? Not that, maybe a couple of years ago or whatever, but
Yeah.
the black and white movie that's playing in the background that he uses to
Yeah.
The
cut
Mafia
sound,
one?
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I just always assumed that was just like an actual movie,
Yeah.
but they made a short black and white movie for the movie so they could have it playing.
You're
in it.
kidding.
No, look it up.
I'm gonna
I-
count to 10.
Yeah, I actually thought that was, yeah, same.
Gonna give you to the count of 10 to get you no good, dirty, rotten piece off my property.
1, 2, 10.
So what made you kind of start going down that? Were you just like kind of bored, kicking back, and you're like, what?
I just saw it online somewhere. Somebody had
okay.
shared that they had just learned that, and I'm like, no way, look it up. And sure enough, and,
Yeah.
and then even for the second one, they made a second
Really?
I forget what the name of it is. It's like, I can't remember. But
So they made two of those.
They made two of them, so you kind of catch the label in the movie as he's putting it in, you know.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because it's a VHS. Or,
That's-
you
I think
familiar?
that-
You
I'm
remember?
familiar with
Okay, okay.
VHS.
Yeah,
VHS.
he was born in '99. You
Yeah.
know.
99.
No, that's a good one, Daniel. My number 2 pick here, I think this is a good one, a little sports related. I'm going Little Giants. You know, everybody
Yeah, I
remembers
was
the
looking
first
at
time
that
they
one.
watched that. You know, Emmitt Smith pops the football. The kid has to catch the toilet paper, the stickum. You know, everybody likes Little Giants. And it's sad the Cowboys lose in that one. Spike, though. Spike's a great football player. You know, I don't know if he was on, like, HGH as a kid, but, like, that guy was, like, possibly one of the best, you know, most dominant football movie players ever, fictional movie players. He got drafted in our fictional movie draft, played fullback, middle linebacker, like
Yeah, I see, but
solid player.
Here's the thing: in the '90s, there's a handful of really good, like Any Given Sunday '90s.
Okay, yeah. Well, I guess take that in your little
No,
kid
no.
draft and see how that
Little
does.
Giants. The thing is that I went over to a friend's house, and I think I was in 7th grade, or maybe it was even before I had a TV. And we're talking like in his parents let them watch a little bit of whatever, and we were all playing football. We're on the same football team. One of my first exposures to like movie,
To
television,
TVs.
to TVs in general was The Waterboy. So I think that's a good one too, right?
I'm
I mean,
sure your parents love
That's
that.
not.
They
That's
were
not.
not
That's not a
happy.
family. That's not a family movie.
they were not happy.
Remember the Little Giants, like the intimidation when he puts the thing, you know, the acid indigestion in his mouth and it starts gargling everywhere. Tells that one guy, "Hey, what do you guys think I had for lunch today?" Turns around, you know, he had beans and you know, in the '90s, you watch as a kid and you're like, "This is hilarious." He has the peanut butter and jelly sandwich in his helmet when he hits him, and they think he's bleeding.
Yeah, I don't. Jordan, were you into that movie, Daniel? Daniel? I just kind of. It always was kind of like, maybe I was mature as a youngin, but I was just like, this one's not that great.
I mean, you weren't like excited to just watch TV every once in a while, so I'm sure you got thrilled every time you watched a movie.
Yeah. You know, there's something you guys should know. When I was 10 years old, I put myself on the injured list. I never got off. Coach Danny O'Shea. You know, that's just a good motivational speech.
There
right
you go.
But
All right, we spent
Phil,
a little
you should put
touch time
yourself
talking
on
to
the injured list.
the Little Giants. I did when I twisted my ankle and I couldn't podcast, but I haven't let that down yet. All right. The next one here, I was tempted to go with Anastasia. I'm not going with that one. Actually, I've never even seen
call.
that movie. I'm going to go with... all right, I'm going to get a little flack for this, all right? And mostly because I think...
Choose a different movie, Phil.
I think
you,
that
Jordan.
this is a good movie, and it's a good movie, and it like as an adult, I've watched it with my children. I'm like, oh yeah, this is actually a pretty
Matilda.
good. No,
I hated that one.
The Parent Trap.
Oh, that is a good one.
The Parent Trap is a good movie. Made me always kind of think like, do I have a twin out there somewhere? You know, probably. You know, everyone else's
sure hope
nightmare.
not.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm. So that's just a good movie. You know, one's from England, one's from America. They meet each other at a camp. You know, and I have never that always baffled me. Also, I feel like they were at camp for like 6 months. Did you think that?
Well, yeah, when you have people going to a camp from a different country like that, sometimes I think it's a little
No, I know people
Gotta
do
make
that.
it worthwhile.
Yeah, they have to make it
a long
worthwhile.
flight.
And I know people do that, right? I think it's more of a little bit of an East Coast thing. Like here on the West Coast, we don't do who do you know that goes to camp for more than a month?
Yeah,
you know what I'm
it's an
saying?
East Coast thing.
It's an East Coast thing for sure. Even though she's from, Sonoma Valley area, her dad's a winemaker. I don't know if you recall that portion of the
I
film.
haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since the 90s, I don't think.
Anyhow, I think that's a really good one. I might get some flack from it. We have a lot of fantasy football guys that will
I like the original better.
the one not made in the 90s.
The one not made in the 90s.
Okay. I would have taken that one, but again, it wasn't made in the
Exactly.
90s. But Jordan, go ahead. You were
Jordan's I'd probably go
Oh,
with
man.
Mulan here. Or
I don't know what I'm gonna take here.
Muppets Treasure Island is still available, Jordan.
I might take that one. I don't know what that is. What is that?
Musicals, Newsies, that's a classic that was made in the 90s. I love Newsies. You're the King of New
I'll
York.
leave that one for you. I am going
Prince of
to
Egypt.
go. That's actually a good one.
That's a really good one.
solid. I'm gonna go with Lion King.
Nice. That's a really good one. That's you got a little redemption right there. But The Circle of Life, Jordan, Rafiki. To be fair, Lion King, Saw it one time when I was probably 4 years old. Those hyenas scared me
Oh,
so
yeah.
bad. I didn't watch it again until I was married. You know, I just never got back to it. never got back to Lion King. Like those hyenas. It's just like, you know, the window of watching Lion King had passed. And my wife's like, this is a great movie. I'm like, hey, honestly, I've never seen it. She like, you know, thought I was, you know, grew up in a different country or something, you know, so we had to watch it. And great movie. I've always liked the soundtrack for what it's worth with that.
It's good music.
But yeah, you know, hyenas were just too much for me, you know.
I think that was the first movie I have any memory of seeing in the movie theater.
Yeah.
I have
Really?
a faint memory. I honestly don't even know if it actually happened. I need to reach out to my aunt because I remember my aunt taking me and my brother to go see that movie.
In
but I don't know why
theaters.
we would have been with my aunt to go see a movie because that's the only time we've ever possibly seen a movie. But that's how I remember.
Do you
it,
guys
so.
remember?
With your aunt, like that's
With my
your-
aunt, yeah.
So she just your first movie was with your aunt. You never saw a movie, like she never took you to a movie again. Is basically what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Well, it
You
probably,
know what this guy was like as a kid?
Yeah, I was
probably
friends with
blew
him.
it. Probably blew it. You know,
What were you saying, Jordan?
no. Do you guys have? Because that's like. Do you guys have your first memory of it in the movie theater? Because I know mine. I know the first movie that I remember watching. in the
Let's
movie
hear
theater.
it, Jordan.
Well, I don't think anyone will take in this trap, but Mighty Joe Young.
Okay.
Oh my!
I remember that's the first movie that I have recollection of watching as a kid. So I was like 4. Do you guys have that memory or no?
I do, but I'm going to save that for my last
Okay,
pick
yeah,
here.
okay.
I'll say mine. It was. I think I was again like
Stuart
in
Little.
7th grade, and
7th grade.
I was in 7th grade. I
Polly.
think tail end of 7th grade.
101
And
Dalmatians.
it would not surprise you that I was a little bit into the theatrics as a child. Like I liked being in plays. Just, you know, nothing against that, right? But it's just not me really. Like I think I was just like I
It
don't know.
was you, and now it's not.
It was you, and now I look back in it and I'm like, why did I like being in plays so much? Like I was believe it or not, I was Huck Finn, you know.
Really?
I was Huck Finn. Yeah, I was Huck Finn, Tom and Huck. I was Huck Finn I think I was in 5th grade. And I had like that's like a leading
role.
role. That's a leading role.
I wish I'd have done more plays.
Yeah, and I remember the teacher. I'm not going to say who the teacher was. I actually got Tom Sawyer, and the teacher. I distinctly remember him saying this. He's like, "You're not as polished as like what we would see a Tom Sawyer be." And I was like, "That is like such a put down to a child." Like, and so he made me
because he
Huck.
didn't wear shoes to school. Yeah,
Yeah, he like saw my lunch pail was like a brown paper bag, and like the guys. But I just remember being
So
like, "Wow."
What's the movie, Phil? What's your first?
So anyhow, they took us all out. Like I was in another play, not the Huck Finn one.
Cats.
Oliver. It was Oliver. And I was just
Oliver
like
and
I was
Company.
just Oliver and Company, and I was just like one of the little you know, Ratscallions or whatever you call it, one of his buddies, you know.
The little dog that's always yelling at everybody.
No, it wasn't. It was the human version. I like how you're. Yeah.
So that's the first movie you
No.
remember watching.
I was in that play.
So what movie?
Side story. So they took us all out, and we went and watched Ice Age. I think Ice Age. When did Ice Age come out?
That's
2000.
that's
that's-
2000s.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
so maybe-
you were born in 1990, and the first movie you have recollection.
Yeah, maybe
of
it wasn't
seeing-
Ice Age. I don't know why I think it was Ice Age. Maybe it was something else, but I just remember seeing that movie.
Well, thank you for that rabbit trail. That was just, you know, totally.
I
I
was
think it was-
looking for that quick answer, and this
Yeah.
guy.
Oh, so it was 2002.
Yeah.
Ice Age came out in 2002. I was 12 at the time. That's when I went. So yes, Ice Age is the first movie. It all checks out. My
did-
timeline checks out.
We didn't need the background of you getting cut from the play Cats, Phil. Like that was unnecessary.
I can't believe you were 12, and that was the first time. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's impressive, right?
It's like a-
impressive.
it's like
It's something.
All right, Daniel, round 3 here. This is the last round. That just recapping that round. We had Home Alone, Little Giants, Parent Trap, and Lion King. Last pick here, Daniel. You know, leave it all out there, man.
All right, you threw this title out when you were talking about Phil's
Yeah.
claiming he was picking more than one movie there. And so I'm going to go with this just because I feel like it was a movie that at the time, I don't even know if I truly appreciated it as much.
Yeah.
And then come to find out now I'm growing up with the series, you know, now I have children that like it. So I'm
Sure.
going with Toy Story.
Toy Story.
That's a good one.
That's the first movie I remember seeing in theaters.
So you were gonna take that?
Yeah, I was going to take
Yeah.
that. Yeah. No, that's a good one.
It just
Daniel.
warms your heart up a little bit when you watch the flick.
Yeah, you know, some are better than others. I think 3 gets a little It's a little dark there, almost with the what's his
Is that Lotso
With
hugs?
his-
Lotso? Yeah,
Lotso hugs.
You know?
I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever seen Toy Story 3.
Oh, you'll go watch it, Jordan, and you'll feel so guilty. You'll go get all your toys out and play with them again.
That you will not do.
They're already out.
The guy doesn't have silverware, but all his GI Joes are just placed around his house preparing for battle.
Yeah. No, Toy Story 2 is great. I went to Toy Story 2 for my birthday party in first grade. That was classic. You know, we got there probably 30 minutes before the movie started. My dad started a chant, start the movie. And, probably had 20, first grade boys just raging, chanting. They had to come in and calm us down like 2 times. Like, hey, guys, we're not starting
was
the
for
movie.
your birthday?
Yeah, we're not starting the movie till the movie starts, so
Yeah.
good memories. But, yeah, Toy Story 2 I might like more than 1. But 1's just a classic.
Is Toy Story
gotta
2
start.
when they go to the toys? Which one's Toy Story 2
That's
again?
Big Al's Toy Barn. And
In 2, right?
They meet
Yeah.
Zurg.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
It's good. 1's pretty good though, but again, Sid's kind of scary. But I love that movie. I'm more of a Woody guy than a Buzz guy, Daniel.
More of a Woody guy, is that what you
I
said?
like Woody. I appreciate Woody more than Buzz.
Yeah, I mean, I got cowboy boots on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been more of a Woody guy myself.
You had to take your cowboy hat off to put the headphones on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the guy.
You're kind of interesting though, Daniel, because I remember when you used to be like all skateboarder, then all of a sudden you were like, I don't know, something happened. You were just full born cowboy
Yeah,
That happens to every man at some point in their
Kind of
life.
just got to find what,
yourself.
Yeah, a
yeah,
little bit of self discovery there. What you're comfortable in,
Yeah. You went from
I
like
just happen
baggy.
to be
You went
comfortable in a pair of Wranglers.
Yeah, you went
know?
baggy shorts to Wranglers real quick.
Yeah, they
Overnight,
stay
really.
on. I wear a belt now, but you almost don't even need them with Wranglers.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. Yeah.
And just a side note, another total sidebar. And Daniel, you probably tell this story a lot better than I would. But before Daniel went off to the Marines, I made this weird promise. It was just like a weird promise. I'm like, before you leave to the Marines, I will ride a bull in your presence. It was like such a weird,
A very strong desire to ride a bull.
yes, a very
No
strong.
matter the cost or circumstances.
Yeah,
Maybe not cost, money wise, but
we weren't willing to put
willing
any
to-
money on it. Well,
yeah.
sort of.
I'm guessing you never. I'm guessing you never rode a bull.
Well,
We got really close.
We got really close to riding a bull. So there is a bull riding school at the Central Coast, and we live about 2.5 hours from the Central Coast. And gas was like maybe $1.50, $2 at the time.
No, you're misremembering. When gas
It
was expensive then.
It was expensive.
I remember
yeah.
getting my license and thinking like, wow, I can hardly afford gas because it was over $4 a gallon back then.
Yeah,
Really?
It was. Yeah, it wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
Man, so I
Your
am
memory's
misremembering that
terrible.
part. My memory's terrible. So it's about the same
The
price
whole
that it
story's
is
probably
now.
fake.
I
Honestly,
think that's why I asked for gas money.
That is why you asked for gas money. I remember, so we drove out to the Central Coast and basically trespassed on these people's property, more me than anyone else, and just on the search for just a bull, no plan in mind. And this lady comes out and is just like, "What are you doing on my properties?" And we didn't ride the bull. We'll end the story with that.
There was a
And-
very interesting conversation with that lady, but
yeah.
we won't go into it.
We won't go into it. Very
Long
interesting.
story short, didn't get a chance to ride a bull that day.
Didn't get a chance to ride a bull that day. And I remember also fueling up gas. I don't know why I remember the story. Fueling up gas. Daniel's like, "Hey, you want to chip back in for gas?" Because I chipped in on the way. And I'm like, "Yeah, you kind of got your car dirty. I'll chip in some money." And Daniel goes, "Had I not got my car dirty, would you not chip in for gas?"
all right. Well,
Anyhow.
thank you for that rabbit trail. My last pick here. I think this is a good one. I'm gonna go with Space Jam.
Oh,
Space
shoot.
Jam.
That's what I was gonna
It's
go with,
classic.
yeah.
Honestly, really good. If it was a movie, I wouldn't believe it. It was that good. I don't know. You look up 30 for 30 Space Jam documentary on YouTube. It's pretty good. Total satire. But yeah, Space Jam, how he reaches his arm all the way across the court right there and dunks it. Michael Jordan was not going to lose that game against the Monstars, and he left it all out on the court. One of his players got singed right before his eyes. Kept playing. So big deal. Space Jam is my pick. I have some honorable mentions. I will save that. Man, Pocahontas liked that one as a kid. Probably could have took
Yeah.
that one right there. That was a good one. But Phil, you're up right here. Last pick.
I think this is probably one of No, I said it before. I got to go with it. It's a fun flick. I just remember liking it a lot as a child. And so I'm hoping I can go back and watch it and there's nothing like strange about it, but Flubber, just a good one. It basically brings a family back together.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good one. Do
I
people
saw it in
not?
theaters.
I remember really enjoying Flubber. Like he goes into Weebo, I believe his name is. We got a makeup artist here. The thing dies in front of his eyes, right? And so there's just like there's a lot. I think you learn about a lot, even though it was a death of a robot for a short period of time. I think it comes back to life. Anyhow, as a child, you really learn to ponder life and death through the death of this robot, Weebo. But it brings families together. Good movie. Got some comedy to it. Silliness. It bounces everywhere. He can like throw a basketball through like the gym roof, basically. So that one's my pick, Flubber.
Okay. You haven't watched it in a while. I want you to watch it, then tell me if it's like really good, because I don't remember it being that good. Can we all agree? Agree with that, Daniel?
I can remember
if I've seen it. I'm trying to remember if I've seen it or not.
Robin
I feel
Williams
like I have,
again.
but like I don't remember it that clearly.
I remember thinking like liking it enough, but it wasn't a rewatch.
It wasn't a
We
rewatch.
never owned that one. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, no, never made.
Blockbuster.
And I don't know how much airtime it would have got. So
Saw it in theaters, did not rent it ever. You know what I mean? Because you'd go to Blockbuster and be like, hey, I'll watch that one again and again. Never rented Flubber.
yeah, I don't think that was on the rent list.
I'm kind of struggling with my draft, I think.
Well, you didn't have a TV till you were like seventh grade.
It's true. That's true. It is on Disney Plus. Not a sponsor of the pod just yet. But I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another watch.
All right.
It's 2.5 stars on IMDb, so that's not. Maybe I'm remembering it a lot better than it was.
all right. Jordan, to wrap up the draft, and we'll give a couple honorable mentions, and we'll.
I'm gonna go. I was going back and forth between two of them. I'm gonna go with Hercules.
Oh,
Okay,
nice. I don't think that's a.
that one is really scary. I remember being
I have
afraid of
not
that
seen
one.
it. I've not seen it.
It's
You never seen Hercules?
No, but I know a lot of people really like it.
I think I watched that one quite a bit as a kid. Because like we had all the VHSs, so it was harder to watch stuff back then. So whatever you owned on the VHS,
Yeah.
well,
Exactly.
you popped
Yeah.
in. So and up until you rewatched a lot of. I rewatched more movies when you were a kid than you probably ever
Yeah.
do now.
Yeah.
That's what got you into lifting, didn't it? A little bit.
Lifting? I don't get the joke, Phil.
Hercules. He's strong.
Oh, Hercules.
Just some honorable mentions. Honorable mentions. Things we missed. Pocahontas, Beauty and the Beast,
Aladdin,
Aladdin.
Mulan.
I was going to say Tarzan. I was thinking about Tarzan.
That might be close. You might be the Big Green soccer movie. That was a good
I
one.
thought about that one.
Daniel, is there any more that you like kind of had on your list? Maybe.
I hit a few of them there. I was kind of thinking the same, or I had forgot about Aladdin. That's another. It's
Yeah.
just,
Oh, Prince of Egypt. I said that one. No one took it. That was a good one.
a great one.
It holds up too. It's still a good one.
Saw that one in theaters, and it was snowing when I came outside at Edwards and Fresno. You just remember things when it snows in the Central Valley. Doesn't happen too much. Bugs Life.
That's what I was just going to say that. If you guys
Bugs
like
Life
Bugs
was a big one.
Bugs. It's still a pretty good one too.
I thought about taking that one too.
It's a
That's
good
one.
flick.
It's a good flick.
Yep.
See what you did there.
Sleeper here, Indian in the Cupboard. Anybody ever watch?
Oh,
Indian in the Cupboard?
yes, yeah.
Love that one.
Yeah.
That was a great one.
James and the Giant Peach. Did anyone like that? I know we had to read the
was
book
no-
in
that
fourth
was-
grade.
That one scared me.
All right.
Trent, a lot of movies scared you
Yeah,
as a kid.
it's true.
I'm questioning a lot of things about you now.
Iron Giant, Free Willy, George of the Jungle.
I would say
Ants.
George of the Jungle
I
is a
didn't
good one.
like ants that much.
No. I think that one was kind of scary, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Is that a DreamWorks or it's a non?
Something like that.
What about The
non-Disney.
Land Before Time?
that? Was
That
one
was
I
a
meant to
solid-
say, and I forgot to say it.
Mysterious Island.
Did you guys ever watch Inspector Gadget?
Yes, I really like that one.
That's a good one,
Visualize,
too.
yeah.
Fievel Goes West?
I had that keyed up, ready to do. 5-0 Goes West.
Anyone?
I love that one. That was one of my favorites.
You like? Yeah, it's a good one. He's the lazy eye, or what is it?
5-0.
Yeah, that's a good one. Pocahontas is a good one for sure.
All the Disney animated movies are pretty good in the 90s.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good time for Disney, I think.
Stuart Little, I said that once. The Borrowers, Jungle to Jungle. Did anyone watch that one? I saw that one time. That was kind of an interesting one. Yeah. Well, I think that kind of does it, guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's not really any others here that I would really.
Muppets in Space, Phil. You strike me as a Muppet guy. The Brave Little Toaster. No one picked that. That's a good one. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Saw that. They had some nice Happy Meal toys at McDonald's.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Anyways,
I think we got the majority of them.
Balto, Little Princess. I don't know.
Jungle Book.
Yeah.
You're reaching now, my guy.
You didn't like Jungle Book?
Was
No, I
Jungle
was
Book
talking
in-
to Trent.
was Jungle Book in the 90s?
I think so.
I feel like that was another one that came out way earlier.
Yeah, it came out way early.
That's a 50s.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely had it on VHS in the 90s, though.
They reopened the vault, I think, is what happened.
Oh yeah.
Kinda
You know,
Remastered, you know.
remastered. I'm pretty sure the bear in Jungle Book is the same bear as in Robin Hood. I think it's the same actor.
I think so.
You'll start to notice, at least I have, with kids and you're watching all these different movies and you're actually in a different room and you can hear the voice, how many of the voices are like the same for like it's the snake in Jungle Book is Winnie the Pooh. And he's also somebody else. And then same thing with Alice in Wonderland is Wendy from Peter Pan. So you get a lot of these carryover that if you're in the other room, you're like, wait a second.
What movie are we watching here?
Yeah.
Those voice actors were probably cleaning house.
Oh, yeah.
For the record,
They probably didn't have to clean their house.
For the
Because of how
record,
rich they were.
there was a non-cartoon Jungle Book in the 90s.
Oh,
that's
Disney
the
on
one-
Ice.
That's the one you watched on VHS?
I think I watched both of them on
Okay.
VHS.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, Daniel, thanks for coming on. Is there any closing remarks you'd like to say, air of grievances or something,
Just thanks for having me. I believe it was a former president of the United States that is quoted with saying that, some people spend an entire lifetime wondering if they've made a difference in the world, but podcasters don't have that problem. Actually, he was talking about the Marines. But.
All right. Well, the few
honored to be here.
The few, the proud. Anyways, well, thanks for coming on, Daniel. We appreciate it. We will see you guys on Monday as always. And as always, take care.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.